Okay, quick video response to Barklord. I don't know exactly what I'm responding to. It wasn't, it's kind of hard to, I don't know. Well, whatever. So the first thing is the cigarettes, I just have to, I'm not going to defend cigarette smoking. Something nobody should do. They should shoot anybody who gives cigarettes to kids. Taser them first and then shoot them. Yeah, it's a nicotine. It's an addiction. I don't know what it has to do with a credibility issue in terms of my intellect, but if you say it's a somehow it demonstrates some sort of logical inconsistency that I'm addicted to nicotine, okay, it's all right. You can believe that. It's free country. In terms of any kind of hypocrisy, I mean, yeah, I've quit lots of things. I mean, I quit eating meat for a completely ethical reason, nothing else, not for my own benefit. I don't care about the health benefits. Obviously, I don't care too much about the health benefits of anything. That was a big sacrifice for me in the sense that I used to eat roast beef for breakfast. I mean, I was a real carnivore. And I was born with fangs, actually, and they pulled my fangs out, so I would be a much more intimidating presence if I had my original teeth. But they always got some stupid idea about what's best for you, and so anyway, but yeah, imagine that if I still had my fangs and I was doing these videos, with the hair, people really be on my ass. But anyway, so the point being, let's see, it's hard to figure out what your point is. I mean, I don't think I was saying it's impossible for, ignorant people or retarded people to say something brilliant. I mean, there's obviously value in a lot of ancient philosophy. And I'm not even criticizing, I don't think, ancient philosophers for being wrong. I mean, for their day, they weren't retarded in context because everybody was so much more retarded than they were. But in the present day, yeah, if you have ideas or beliefs that are completely there's two realms you live in. I mean, you live in this little realm that is your personal experience, where you have to function, where you have to be happy enough to live, and you have to have as few crippling psychoses as possible to give you the power to do what you need to do. And I concede there I'm also a failure. But that's my point is that, yeah, people need some delusions, and we all practice some delusionary thinking to make life more pleasant. But it's a big difference when that starts to creep into the functional part of philosophy, the part that the guts of it, the part that matters, the part that's going to decide how you're going to pull the lever when you vote, and that kind of shit. Then it gets really important, and then the functional retardation part shows up, because if we don't have the fundamental facts right, if we are interpreting the world wrong because we have the wrong facts we're building our logic on, and so we have created a bullshit story, then yeah, you're retarded. There's no other word for it. I mean, if there's a God, I'm classifiable as retarded. I mean, yeah, there's no doubt about it. I'm a fucking idiot, a moron, a retard, because I got it completely wrong. And so it only goes vice versa. I mean, that standard has to be held to both sides of the argument. And, you can't get around that. I mean, there's a practical necessity to have the facts that logic is made out of right. I mean, if you don't get those right, then all your logic is going to be corrupted, because the facts are the logic. I mean, facts make facts. Facts make your perception. I mean, that's what it's built out of. It's just one truth built on top of another truth on top of another truth. And if you get those truths wrong, you're not going to build a model of the real world in your brain. You're going to build a false model, and you're going to have a false understanding. And it is going to be, in some ways, crippling to your capacity to function productively. You're going to do things that are unproductive because of it. You're going to act in a, whatever the definition of retarded is, you're going to, your capacity to do good is going to be suppressed by your ignorance, stupidity, and misguided misknowledge. So anyway, that was my point. And, so I mean, if you think I made some other points, okay. And so it's nice to have the book collage. It's good to see the pretty colors and the covers of the books. And yeah, I can see I haven't read a lot of Buddhist philosophy and the origins of Judaism or any of this other crap, because I have a fundamental I've read a lot of ancient history. I mean, I've read the classic philosophers, Aristotle, whatnot. But I mean, it's these are people that are they were outstanding for their day, but in context, they're still people living when they didn't even know how to make a toilet, for Christ's sakes. I mean, they didn't know shit about the world. They thought it was fucking flat. I mean, there's real gulfs in their knowledge, and and so books to me, I mean, if we're going to flash books, these are the ones we need to understand. This is anatomy and physiology, the science of the human and the science of our world, the evolution of species. These are the books I've read. I mean, I've read, I think, every copy of National Geographic published before 1990. And there's histories, there's all kinds of knowledge out there. But I mean, to me, there's more knowledge in classic college textbooks than there is in, I don't even know what you'd call it, the writings of 800-year-old people. I mean, just that you find kernels of stuff. Look, the Bible has kernels of perfection, the golden rule, a little kernel of perfection. But it's not exclusive to that book. You don't have to read the Bible to draw that conclusion, to find that piece of wisdom. So anyway, it was great to see your intensity. I know we've sort of gotten into a little bit of thing because of this, the tasering thing, and so I guess I'll go a little bit on that just to, use up the last couple minutes here. Yeah, I mean, it's like I hate to be in this position. I mean, here I'm being forced to defend police, and I'm not really doing that. I'm just saying that this whole circumstance was artificially created by somebody who went over the line, and there has to be a line. And the fact that somebody decided to press the, remove button or the police button or whatever button you want to call it, the security do something button, is no big freaking surprise. And what happens when you press that button, we all kind of know what we can expect. I mean, we understand that cops go too far. I've been complaining about cops for years, and so nobody listens, all right? So, I mean, I'm not saying anything inconsistent with a statement that, yeah, something should be done to find better ways to control population, or whatever you call this, crowd control, or, whatever, the way they arrest people, whatever the jargon is. I mean, I'd like to see reform, but I mean, nobody really wants to have that conversation. It's not that nobody, but you know what I'm saying. The majority has this perception that cops are just wonderful. They are this sacred cow, and so you can't say anything against cops. But yeah, I say plenty against them. But I don't, like I said, I don't think that's the point in this issue. This issue sucks as a platform for pointing out police brutality or police excess, because it was all contrived. It was a created circumstance. He's not a real fucking victim. It's not a real world circumstance. And it's just too artificial. And so I guess if he was a deliberate plant by some investigatory organization attempting to demonstrate police excess, that might make me feel a little better about saying, yeah, well, let's beat the hell out of cops using this as an example. But it wasn't even that. Like I said, it's just one fucking little spammy individual who decided to break the rules, go too far, make a spectacle just for his own aggrandizement. I don't think he gave a shit about these issues. That's my perception. I'm entitled to have that perception. Yeah, I think he's just playing his game. And because there was too much there was too much dishonesty in his whole approach. I mean, just the whole, what are you arresting me for? When they weren't arresting him, they were removing him. You know, what are they, I mean, he just was playing it. He was playing it. I don't like the dishonesty. And so even if he sincerely believed in the things he was attempting to argue for, he's doing it in a dishonest manner. So fuck it. I don't like it. It offends me. The dishonesty offends me. Even when somebody's advocating a position I support, I mean, if they're doing it dishonestly, well, shit, I hate that. It just makes the point look bad. It makes the idea look bad because it's being argued with falsely and through corruption. Well, anyway, used all the time again. Shit, never fails.